Hey everybody, Phil here with Houston Kiteboarding and Pacific North Sports. I'm here in the Pacific North Sports shop with a Foildrive unit installed on an 88-liter F1 board. Boom! This is the E-foil edition of the Cedrus mast. So we got 68 centimeters here from top to bottom to this mast position. This is not the most common. We sell mostly at the 24 centimeter. I just had this up in the shop here, so I thought I'd use it in the video. So yeah, definitely Cedrus is the best one. It's a great setup. Go with the 24 centimeter motor position. We have them in stock, no problem. One thing I'll speak about quick while I got you on the line. Get a lot of questions about cable length. We only stock and sell the longest cable length there is. This is 200 centimeters from the box here to the top of the Cedrus, or if you get the regular Assist Plus, it's going to be installed on the motor. This one's just internal. The 200 centimeter gives you the most options possible. Okay, that was the only reason I was able to install this box on the front of the board. This is a short board. I'm making love to this thing when I get on it. I'm on the back of the board, kind of crawling on here. 88 liters is not a ton of volume. It's not one you can just hop on. So because you're on the back of the board, kind of doing one of these numbers to get on, and then your legs are over on the right hand side if you're me, it makes sense to put it installed on the left side up front. Now on a bigger board, you're going to have to put it here because there's just too much length of deck pad. You're going to have to install it on the back. So long story short, 200 centimeter cable length, that's the right one. You're going to want it for changing the position of this. While I'm on the subject, Foildrive makes a little something called the board, what is it called? The additional board install kit. This is it. This install kit gives you 3 extra Velcro's for this. So you can install this somewhere else on your board. It also comes with these cable latches and then the cable fender for the back of the mast. Now this one doesn't have it obviously because it's a Cedrus. But the point is, the 200 centimeter cable length is going to allow you to install this on all your boards, or have the ability to install it on all your boards. That's a big deal, right? So you get the longest cable, right, on whatever setup you get, the Cedrus or the regular Assist Plus. You get one of these guys, and that's going to allow you to install it on 2 of your boards. To uninstall this just Velcros off. It just comes right off. These guys pop right out of these little joints here. And off we go. I can put it on my next board. And then same thing when I want to install it. Just stick it on there. All the extra cable we use, like zip ties. They give you a little latch, but I prefer zip ties. This is the only extra we had, was that little loop. It's about 2 inches of extra. All right, so this is an 88-liter board, like we said. What board do I use with my Foildrive? It's different than what you use without the Foildrive, or it can be different. It doesn't have to be. Yeah, we get that question all the time, right? The beauty of the Foildrive system is not only does it make learning easier, it makes learning more fun. When I learned to wing, anybody who's ridden with me, like I'm pretty good. I'm good on a kite. I'm good on a wing now, but like I'm way better at kiting than I was at wingfoiling when I learned. And the winging was hard for me. It took me like 2 weeks to learn, compared to some guys like the windsurfers and stuff just get it right away. I struggled for 2 weeks until I kind of got the hang of it. It was terrible. Every time I'm like, man, it's windy. Why am I doing this winging thing? I need to go kite. Once I learned, then I'm like, okay, I get it. This is fun. This is awesome, and now I enjoy it. If I had the Foildrive back then, my first time on the Wingfoil, I would have had a great time because I'd have been up foiling, same amount of learning, but I'd have been killing it. So that's one kind of side of the Foildrive story. The other side is it allows intermediate riders and even advanced riders to just ride more fun stuff, to stuff that's more fun. So you can see on this setup, I have a Pump and Glide 1310. This is a common setup for the Foildrive because people want to practice pump foiling. Okay, believe it or not. I mean, it looks ridiculous. I like putting it on here because I can have the board up like this. Kind of a really expensive tripod board stand, right? But yeah, you use the Foildrive, get up on that, and then you practice pumping. You fall off. Okay, do it again instead of the dock start situation, right? Well, we don't have to use big equipment like this. If you're a prone surfer and you're used to, the HPS series or something, you can downsize a couple size wings. You could go to the art stuff. Maybe you can't paddle in on the art stuff for axis. Maybe you can't paddle in on a 120 high aspect from lift. You're on the 170 or the 200 because it's hard to get up in foil, Well, with the Foildrive, you have your little helper friend getting you up on that little stuff. And then once you're up on it, you're just loving it. So that's foil size. It also goes for board size. On a wing, if it's light, you may be stuck on, 105, 120 liter board, especially if you're a big guy, because you just have to. You're up there kind of waiting for a gust doing it. You have a lot of weight on the board. If your skills aren't there yet to manage a board that's kind of partially sunk, you're going to need that bigger board. Once you get up, you're dealing with a big board. It's not a whole lot of fun. With the Foildrive, you can get that board way smaller. Everybody who's e-foiled knows, even with a small board, you use that throttle. As soon as you start moving, you have lots of stability. And then if you can get yourself up on foil with the wing, you immediately have relative wind and power, and then you don't need that board at all. You're up and killing it. So that's kind of the Foildrive story. It's a learning tool to make learning more fun, and it gets all of us on smaller, more fun equipment in the same conditions. So what kind of equipment do I need? That's the question, right? Because of the Foildrive situation. You can use the equipment you have is the best answer, right? Like, use the equipment you have. If you have kind of a dream to get to somewhere else, you can probably get there with the Foildrive. It's a big, happy, helping hand to get you kind of where you need to be. We've listed 3 pro riders from Foildrive on our website with all the gear they ride. It's actually below in this video. Look at the comments. It's going to be in there. These guys are pros, quote unquote. They're regular guys. They're just like you and me. No girls, unfortunately, but they're 3 regular guys. And they just ride a lot. They've been riding a lot. They're pros because they have a lot of experience. But when you talk to these guys in person or over the phone, they're just regular people. They struggle just like everybody else to learn the tricks and positions and the way you ride all these foils in prone, wing, and sup downwind. And they say a lot of the stuff, a lot of them learned without the Foildrive and wish the Foildrive was around. If you saw our last video with Dominic, that's exactly what he said. You don't have to go through that, right? One, a lot of places don't have the conditions that Australia has or Hood River has, where it's still hard to learn, but man, they have great conditions often, so you can really get out there and put the time in. The Foildrive, you don't need that. So we have Dominic or Dom's listed equipment. We have Paul's stuff, and we have Ben's stuff. And what's great about these pro riders is they really encompass the whole range as far as weight goes. Ben's super light, Paul's considered a Clydesdale, although in Texas we have some Clydesdales. Paul would be on the lighter end of things over here. But that, gives us kind of a range of things. So the pro equipment that those guys use is listed. If you guys want to get exactly the setup they ride with the Foildrive, it's there. You can go ahead and purchase that. If you have questions, you can reach out via email or call us or text. We can get you lined up on the equipment you're going to need to buy with the Foildrive to either take you to the next level or get you to where you want to be. Okay, so we talked about the Foildrive on the water. We talked about pro guys riding in the waves, all kinds of stuff. We're going to go through a little bit on the Foildrive. If you guys are watching this video, you're probably already familiar with the system, but I'll just take you through it quick. This is the Bluetooth remote. It's kind of like an e-foil remote, super low key, super light. It's actually really powerful. They have a cruise control setting and then the throttle setting. It comes with a paddle mount, chink, to put it on a paddle. You can mount it on there. I like to zip tie it to a glove also. You have like the glove, put some zip ties on it, right on your hand, so it's stuck to your hand the whole time. You can hold wings and stuff. A lot of people do the wing connector. You can use the paddle holder for the wing, or you can zip tie it if you haven't figured it out. I'm a big fan of zip ties on the Foildrive system. Comes with a floating leash, this one. We also have an upgradable wrist leash that looks less kooky than this, but this one works great actually. So that's that. This is the battery. This is the 12.6 amp hour full battery. So this is the biggest one you can buy. Weighs about 3.5 pounds. It's really light. Fits inside this box just like this. And that's the whole deal. There's a travel version of this, which is about the same size, less capacity, and there's 2 units that are put together in parallel. And the reason for the travel size is it gets below the FAA's limit for a lithium-ion battery on a commercial flight. So you can take those 2 units, you know, boom, on the airplane, and you're traveling with the Foildrive. Because once you try the Foildrive, you're gonna wanna use it every time. I mean, it's just awesome. It just makes it more fun. So battery. Next is the motor pods. This is a motor pod. So this is a number 19 lift pod right there. This is what fits. I'm gonna meet you down here by the this is what hooks to the motor, you know, and the mast goes through it. So this, you know, outside section here, the camber of the mast, it's got to match exactly. They have like 100 of these. We've had trouble keeping them all in stock. We now have pretty good stock of about half of the ones they offer. All the really big brands, you know, there's some ancillary ones like some random gong foils and, you know, weirdo brands that we don't really carry. But all the big ones, we have them in stock, ready to go. These are all motor pods here, hanging around. That's about it for that. Okay, so we have the Cedrus unit there. This is a Foildrive Assist Plus. This is the box that it comes in. This is all it is. You have the motor with the 2-blade prop. This is your leash attachment, the box, 200 centimeter cable. This is that mast cable attachment. You're gonna use this with some tape. This is the charger here, charging disc for the controller. You have your battery is gonna be in here. It's not in here now. Comes with a tool. Really, this is actually super nice. This little Allen key tool. All of the bolts on the whole thing use this Allen key size, so you can easily adjust all that. And it comes with your installation hardware for the board and a big old book for directions. It's actually really straightforward. There's a couple tips and tricks, like you know, coating the inside of the motor with WD-40 and rinsing it every time if you're in salt water. I'd recommend it even if you're not in salt water. I personally have never had any trouble with corrosion or anything else with the Foildrive, but you hear of guys who've been riding it for 2 years, you know, and that's one of the things is you want to keep that corrosion out of there. That is about it. If you guys have questions or comments, you can, email us, call us, stop in, talk to us in person. We have people stop in all the time and just chat about it. We have Foildrives in stock. We have a lot of wing gear in stock. We have a lot of downwind gear in stock. If you need anything, let us know. I'll talk for a second about downwind boards because everybody is stoked about downwind boards. The Armstrong downwind board, I think, is what we're going to commit to for the season. We were able to get on a bunch of downwind boards. The Armstrong's nice. It's nice. I know you guys are always telling me it's expensive. It is expensive. Comes with a bag, and it's just super nice. The thing about Armstrong is they have those tracks really far forward, you know, which that forward geometry thing on the downwind board, you really want them to be forward. So they're in the right spot. Army's always doing it. He's always making the stuff just the way you want it. And the bag on a big old downwind board is going to be paramount. So if you're interested in Army downwind board, get on the list. We're going to have them coming in bulk. What's kind of interesting, if you pan up here, this is a surf ski, and downwind boards look a lot like surf skis, kind of cut in half. Zip, you know, downwind board. We use these to paddle in on waves, like 1-foot waves you can catch with these boats. So kind of interesting that everybody's into the downwind boards. Great for downwinding. The reason we're excited about them is for light wind wing foiling. You know, you can use smaller foils and smaller wings with that big board. Pops up with the water, accelerates, get to it. So that's all I'm going to say. Hit us up if you guys need any of this stuff. We have it all in stock. Thanks.